Welcome to the first episode of the Laureus Power of Sport podcast. I'm Jean Smythe and will be your host through this series that will take you from the glitz of Monaco that sees the world's biggest stars come together on one golden night to the gang-ridden streets of Hanover Park or the rural rolling hills of KwaZulu-Natal as we share together the incredible work that the projects in the Laureus family do both in South Africa and around the world. In this episode, we travel to Monaco and a Valentine's Day on the French Riviera to remember at the 18th edition of the Laureus World Sports Awards. We'll hear from the world's fastest man on four wheels, Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg, and the fastest on two legs, Usain Bolt. David Coulthard reveals how he would like to see motorsport glamour back in South Africa. Michael Johnson talks about South African superstar Wade van Niekerk, who in turn takes aim at Johnson's unique 200-400 double. Laureus Academy chairman Sean Fitzpatrick pays tribute to Springbok great Joost van der Westhuizen, and golfing legend Gary Player reflects on Nelson Mandela's inspired speech that is the core of what Laureus seeks out to achieve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am happy to be with you tonight at the first Laureus World Sports Award. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair.
Then we catch up with Ambassador Ryk Neethling in Dubai and we play Blitz with him, our quickfire salvo that reveals all within 30 seconds or thereabouts. Remember, you can find us on Twitter at Laureus_SA, on Facebook, and be sure to catch us on Instagram too. Well, it just about feels like I've been able to catch my breath after a whirlwind, once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Laureus World Sports Awards in Monaco. It was absolutely everything I expected and so much more. It's certainly unique among Valentine's Day experiences that I've had, the coming together of the world's greatest sports stars and some of its greatest supporters. It's simply, for any lover of sport, the most amazing platform to be exposed to a range of people that you'll very seldom get, if indeed ever. Well, as part of the glittering event, current and former stars make themselves available to chat across a wide variety of topics, and almost all South African eyes were certainly on South African superstar Wade van Niekerk in his first appearance at the showpiece. And he made his mark early on the night. As sporting icon greeted another icon from another sport or era ahead of the event, the Salle d'Etoile came to a virtual standstill when superstar Usain Bolt entered, arguably the greatest sprinter to ever live. The Jamaican indulged those that clamored for a selfie, but chose to spend a chunk of his time with the South African that wowed him and the world in Rio.
We just talk about random stuff, you know what I mean? Asked him how his training was going. We both talked about our coaches and how they really love the sport. Not so much about the 200 meters, but we talked about it a few times early in the season. That I know he's going to run a very good 200 meters because he's very strong. I can tell he's fast by the 100 meters that he has run. So for me, we just chatted about random stuff. So yeah.
Bolt admitted that van Niekerk would have got his vote as the Laureus breakthrough of the year.
I never thought Michael Johnson's 400-meter record would ever be broken. I'm not even gonna lie. I've seen many athletes try and they have come way short. And I remember the first time I saw him run the year before, and me and my coach, we sat down and coach said to me, there's only two persons that could break this world record. And I was like, who was that? And he says, you were one of them and Wade would be the other one. I was like, why? He's like, he said it to me earlier when we had discussion about the 400 meters, and he said, you have to have speed. If you don't have speed, you can't break Michael Johnson's 400-meter record. And Wayne has shown that he has a lot of speed, you know what I mean? And he has the strength and has the determination. And just by training with him early in the year, you can tell that he really works hard and he's really determined and he's really dedicated to his sport. So for me, it was just brilliant to have seen him actually break the record. I was happy for him because I knew he really wanted it.
What a whirlwind it's been for the South African who, as always, cut a relaxed figure in the Principality.
I'm quite excited to see how the night plays out. Looking forward to see the different personalities that will be involved tonight. And yeah, to me, it's really just a massive privilege and honor to be nominated with the guys. And I think whatever happens tonight, I'll be really grateful that I was here.
Despite being rocketed to superstar status, Nico says he's not fazed by the attention he's got since Rio.
I really don't let the achievement or my environment around me get the best of me. I find it very important to stay the person I was before any other medal came, and I believe I'll continue staying the same person onwards to the future. I really don't see a reason to change the person I am. There's definitely been a lot of doors that's opened for myself, and I'm so grateful for that. But as long as I stay focused on what I'm doing and stay focused on track and field, that's when I'm happy, and that's what I love doing. Everything else around that is really just either an added bonus or another challenge. But my main objective and focus is on track and field.
A huge fan of Liverpool Football Club, the breakthrough category was one of the most hotly contested in Monaco.
Most definitely, obviously, if you have to choose between the two football federations, it should definitely be Leicester. I mean, what they've done last year is so inspirational. The journey that they went through, from almost being relegated to winning the Premiership League, one of the toughest leagues in the world. It's massive. Hopefully they'll carry on through this year, because I see they've been struggling already. So let's hope they pick up from where they left last year. But I think they would deserve it.
And while many would pin their hopes on meeting the world's fastest man ever over 400 meters, there were some stars he was looking to chase down for a signature or two himself.
As a football fan, I mean, there's so much footballers that I want to meet. Obviously Cristiano was nominated, so I don't know how I'm going to approach that if he was close to me. And then you get obviously the likes of the NBA stars like LeBron James and Steph Curry. What they also do in their sports is quite massive, and I've seen Usain Bolt also quite a lot of times. But I mean, you always appreciate being around these guys, because these are you get that saying of if you want to be an eagle, you need to fly amongst the eagles. So I love being around such great sports stars and feed off them and try and apply what they've done in their lives to my own, and hopefully I can be up there with them as a sportsman of the year in the future.
A senior member of track and field royalty Michael Johnson was working at the Olympics when Wade broke his 400-meter record. The outside smoke in lane 8 as he saw off the challenge of LaShawn Merritt and Karani James.
I think it was always going to be a fantastic matchup with two defending Olympic champions and a defending world champion in that race. Was always going to be a fantastic matchup, and it certainly, as a race, lived up to all of the hype and expectations, and certainly exceeded expectation with the world record.
I asked Michael what advice he would give Wade regarding his decision to run the 200-400 double in the future.
I would be the last person to tell someone who's won the world championship, Olympic championship, and broken the world record, what they need to do. He's obviously doing some things right, and that's his choice to make the decision. I think, I've been there as an athlete where every decision you make is scrutinized. Everyone's trying to predict the future. It's fun to do, but at the end of the day, as an athlete, you make the decisions that you make. You focus on, the journey to get there and accomplish what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And, sometimes you're successful and sometimes you're not. Look, when you have an athlete that, is as successful as he has, he's obviously figured out how to get the best from himself. And so I think if I had any advice, I guess it would be to keep doing whatever it is that he's been doing, because it's obviously working very well for him.
Nico was up against the fairy tale of Leicester City and the Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg, who after years of misfortune and heartache finally followed in his father's footsteps and won the world championship in his Mercedes.
I grew up 40 meters from here in the building just next door, and I remember I was 14 years old and standing on the balcony with the TV on, watching the awards. Seeing that the awards are happening down here and watching Nelson Mandela on TV standing on this stage. And ever since, it's been my dream to stand up here myself one day, and so it's unbelievable that tonight it's actually happened. I'm so happy and so thankful, really, to everybody who's been a part of this, part of my success. And a quick word also to all of you out there who've tried so hard for a long time to achieve your dream. If you really keep believing and keep fighting, eventually you will be rewarded. So keep at it. And good evening. Thank you very much.
2017 awards saw the return home to the venue that hosted the first 4 events starting in 2000, initiating a showpiece that's garnered global appeal, and it felt like they'd never left. Sportswoman of the Year.
And the Laureus Academy have chosen Simone Biles.
I am so speechless. It's an honor to receive this award from Prince Albert and Nadia Comaneci.
Comeback of the Year.
And the Laureus Academy have chosen Michael Phelps.
This Olympics has been absolutely incredible. The last 2 years of my life were probably the best 2 years of my life.
Spirit of Sport.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leicester City.
It's fantastic. It's unbelievable what we achieved last season.
Sportsperson of the Year with a disability.
And the Laureus Academy have chosen Beatrice Dier.
I'm very, very happy to be here. I think that I'm very, very lucky to be here.
Breakthrough of the Year.
Nico Rosberg.
It's been my dream to stand up here myself one day, and so it's unbelievable.
Sporting inspiration.
The refugee Olympic team.
Sport has a power. It unites people to give the sense of belonging.
Sportsman of the Year.
And the Laureus Academy have chosen Usain Bolt.
I want to say to the young kids growing up, just live your dream, work hard, stay focused, and just be strong and just keep on pushing and it will come true. So thank you.
It wasn't to be then for Wade van Niekerk, but the big South African winner of the night, Waves for Change, started in Cape Town with Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene of Monaco introducing the award.
To receive the award, please welcome founder of Waves for Change, Tim Connie-Bear. I am proud to be giving you this award, especially as your program and my foundation share the same values in teaching children to swim and giving them purpose. Congratulations.
I'd just like to say thank you very much for awarding us this incredible honour. I know there's a lot of our team watching from around the world at the moment. I actually think my colleague here, Monwabisi, can send a message to our South African and Liberian teams a lot better than I can. So I'm going to pass you over to MacGyver, who was one of the first coaches that we met in Khayelitsha, and he's going to send a message for our team in South Africa, and I'll come back in a moment. So, MacGyver.
Okay. Kweli thuba likhulu ndilifumana namhlanje ndithi mandibulele kwi-team yase Way for Change ngentsebenziswano nangonyamezelana kwizinto besidibana nazo unyaka wonke iminyaka le yonke. Ndithi enkosi kakhulu kubo nangobambisana ngalo lonke ixesha. Ndithi sisiqalo ke isende indlela esizoyihamba. Ndiyabulela enkosi.
Well, how inspiring is that from founding director Tim Connie-Bear and assistant site manager from their project at Monwabisi, Gaiva Ingeyake. His message of thanks in isiXhosa beamed live across the globe. Tim nearly didn't make it to Monaco as he'd been stuck at their latest project in Liberia and wasn't able to get a flight to Europe, but more on that in our next episode. South Africa's influence in the Laureus Foundation has always been an indelible part of the Sport for Good initiative, and few have travelled more across the globe and perhaps been as successful than South African golfing superstar Gary Player, who reminded us of the power that Nelson Mandela's words had on him in that inaugural address 17 years ago.
President Mandela is right there, obviously. He was our father, our great father of our country, and if it wasn't for him and Mr. de Klerk, there would have been massive bloodshed in South Africa. But besides that, to go to jail, to spend 20 years in Robben Island. I went to Robben Island last year. I was doing a film for Rolex, and I looked at his cell, and I met people who were there with him. The most wonderful, humble people. I don't know what it is that you can go to jail for over 20 years and still be non-militant and full of peace. It just shows you what a divine intervention took place in their hearts. So nobody in the world is a bigger fan of President Mandela than me. But I don't believe in legacies. I believe in doing something at the time to make the world a better place, contribute to society, and do your job, and on you go. And I wouldn't want to try and be remembered. I wouldn't like to have a gravestone with my name carved on the rocks. I want my name carved in people's hearts that really means something. And I would never like to think, even though I've got the best world record around the world in golf, having won in more than 15 countries, I don't expect people to talk about me when I'm gone. Somebody else will come along and you move on. You've had your time here. Life is for the living, and on you go to a better place. And I SMS'd Arnold Palmer the other day. I said, make sure you've got a good course up there and a good gym, and we'll get together, you, Jack Nicklaus, and myself, but I'm not in a hurry to tee off.
Well, the event was tinged with sadness, particularly among the rugby fraternity present. The recent death of Springbok scrum half Joost van der Westhuizen had made headlines across the world. He was remembered by fierce foe on the field, the great friend off it, the former All Blacks captain and chairman of the Laureus Academy, Sean Fitzpatrick.
You know, you look back to 95, and I think that defined Joost in terms of what happened in that World Cup final. And throughout the competition, really, you know, he was a player that we looked at in terms of the way he dominated that ruck area. Very courageous, and just a sad loss to the world of rugby. I'm here with, obviously, Monaco, and they said they gave him a great send-off at Loftus Versfeld. And, you know, as I said, he's a player that is rated very highly in New Zealand. I think Justin Marshall said he was the best player he ever played against. So, yes, he'll go down in history as one of the greats.
Sean, I think this is your first awards as chairman of the Academy, if I'm correct?
Yes, it is.
Just a couple of thoughts on those, and obviously a homecoming of sorts, Madiba in 2000, and those famous words.
Yeah, I think so. For us, you know, coming back here and firstly to be the chairman of the Academy, it's a huge responsibility and a great honour. Edwin Moses did a fantastic job for 16 years, and this is our spiritual home. This is where it all started 17 years ago, and it's where Nelson Mandela gave us the foundation of our organisation, that sport has the power to change the world, and we wholeheartedly believe that. You know, being captain of the All Blacks is one thing, but being captain of this ship is a major responsibility, because we have such an influence on so many children around the world, and we're getting bigger and better, and looking forward to it.
Well, what an event, and if you can believe it, we could squeeze in just one more thing. Former Formula One runner-up with McLaren turned presenter, commentator and journalist David Coulthard, a fan of Kyalami. Now that Bernie Ecclestone had left the scene, his thoughts on Grand Prix coming to South Africa?
That track is ready to go. You know, the investment that's been made has made it absolutely a turnkey solution. The drivers would love the challenge because it's retained a lot of the old character of the racetrack. I think it's got FIA Grade 2 or something, but it's just a formality, I would say, to being capable of hosting Formula One. And to have a true world championship, you've got to be in the continent. You've got to be in, and if we look at the popularity and success that South Africa has had in Formula One in the past, you know, it's had a South African world champion, it's, you know, had many great Grand Prix there. It was a question of cost and the ability to host the event and actually make it a proper, you know, at least a break-even business or a business that the government could justify to the public, was bringing something back to the country, because otherwise, why would you do it? And I think that Formula One has lost a little bit its ability to deliver that to places like South Africa. So Liberty Media are meeting with everybody to really understand what the opportunities are. Clearly they need to get a return on investment, so that means bringing money in, but I think they're recognising that if you've got someone like Silverstone with 120,000 people struggling to break even, then there's something not quite right in the way the distribution of funds are happening. So let's wait and see as the new contracts come up for renewal whether there really is an appetite to go there. But from my point of view, why would we not go there? There's a fan base, as you know. Cars are celebrated there. There's a wonderful reception. You know, I've spent a bit of time down there doing different events outside of going to the racetrack. So I'd be delighted.
Interesting stuff from the Scot there, Laureus ambassador himself. It's a network which will feature strongly in our series, and especially in our special feature up next. Well, every episode of the Power Sport podcast will see us, hopefully, catch up with the Laureus ambassador to reveal just a little bit more about them and what they're up to. If you have any suggestions or requests, then let us know who's top of your list. Olympic gold medalist Ryk Neethling, who now lives just outside Cape Town at the Valdevie estate, certainly enjoyed his time spent in Monaco, which included spending time with former South Africa teammate Princess Charlene and hitting the dance floor at the Zellos nightclub at the Grimaldi Forum at the official after party. Well, I bumped into him in the early hours of the morning in Dubai on the long trip back to Cape Town to find out what sort of time he had in Monaco.
I am feeling like I'm a cloud nine and almost have these flashbacks of moments and interactions with sporting legends, and the best I can describe it is being in that hotel. It's like being in a sports superhero movie, because just wherever you look at breakfast and everywhere you are, it's just from boxers and swimmers and tennis players, and so it's incredibly inspiring. And I thought that the message last night was also very powerful, and I'm definitely inspired to get back to South Africa and to get stuck in and to try to make a difference as well.
I mean, it's interesting what you say about the sporting superheroes. It's interesting to see fellow sports people from different sports interact. And one thing that struck me last night, Usain Bolt kind of walks into the room, and it might be a Marvin Hagler, it might be yourself, it's Brian Abana, Salt Bay comes in and does and everybody kind of, it's this melting pot. And like you said, the message is really important too.
The only other place that you see it is at the Olympics, but there's 10,000 athletes in the Olympic Village, so this is much more condensed, and just the respect that they have for each other, and for me it was a real honor just to be a part of it, and they accepted me like one of their own, which was very special for me.
And there's a kind of a close personal connection for yourself as well, being in Monaco, considering that Princess Charlene is obviously somebody that you went on tours with in your days. Did you manage to catch up with her and the royal family as well?
Yes, I got to spend quite a bit of time with her on Tuesday. Got to meet her little twins, and then at the event also got to spend some time. I am doing some work for her foundation as well, some fundraising. It's obviously aligned to my interest, to prevent drowning, and it's focused on water safety. So it was great to see her. She looks great. I think she's in a great frame of mind, and I look forward to coming or to go back to Monaco a little bit more often.
There's a great photo doing the rounds of the Grey College connection. Yourself, Wade van Niekerk, who was obviously a nominee, and then Morné du Plessis as well.
Yes, there was a picture that me and Morné said we can't leave Monaco without the picture. So the two of us actually hounded Wade after he was done with the red carpet. So these two old over-the-hill guys, waiting for the current guy to finish.
Chase him down.
Yeah, it was, but it was great, and the different generations of grey boys, and hopefully we can inspire more, not just grey boys, but just kids in South Africa.
And if you want to see that photo we refer to, I can assure you it's a must-see. We have retweeted it on the Laureus South Africa account. Now, every episode will have our Blitz feature, 7 questions posed to our special Laureus guest, giving them little time to think and just give us their gut answers. This week, we put sleep-deprived Ryk in the most uncomfortable airport chair we could find on the spot.
Bolt or Johnson?
Bolt.
Federer, Nadal?
Rafa.
Rugby or cricket?
Rugby.
In any sport, England or Australia?
That's a difficult one.
Pass is not an option.
I'd probably say Australia.
Trump or Clinton?
Clinton.
Liverpool or Man United?
Liverpool.
Final one, Ledecky or Hosu?
Ledecky.
Well, we could have gone literally anywhere in that one with Ryk, and I was a bit worried about England or Australia, to be honest. I wonder what you would have gone with. Well, that's it from our first episode of the Laureus Power Sport podcast. Thank you for joining us behind the scenes of the Laureus Foundation. And I hope we've given you a little bit more insight into the lives of some of our ambassadors and academy members, and of course, what our projects achieve. In the next episode, I travel to Cape Town's famed surfing strip Muizenberg to meet up with Waves for Change founder Tim Coneybear in his office, which is on the beach, of course.
Tim, you dressed down from when I last saw you. How are you doing?
Good. Feeling much better in shorts and a t-shirt than in a tuxedo. So, yeah.
This must be a really kind of special moment for you and your team.
Yeah, it's great. We've been working really hard, especially for the last 2 years. Waves for Change started fairly small and as a voluntary program on the weekends. It's really just taking kids surfing, and then we did research with the universities, and we looked at what was the impact, and we found it was helping kids cope with stress and trauma. We designed a program that we wanted to grow. And the last 2 years we've been pushing really hard to do that, taking the program up the coast, and you never know who's watching. So when all of a sudden you get flown to Monaco and put on stage and people recognise it, it's really rewarding. It's great.
This project is one that all South Africans can truly be proud of and inspired by. We'll stay in the mother city for the world's largest time bicycle race, the Cape Town Cycle Tour, which features a special entry from the Laureus team. Plus, what can we expect from Team Dimension data at the Tour de France this year? Team principal Doug Ryder sets the scene for us. We'll catch up with Ambassador Decathlon legend Daley Thompson, and we'll run the gauntlet as he's up next in our Blitz feature. Thanks for joining me, and please make sure to subscribe to this podcast and engage us on social media. Until next time, cheers.